Hare Krishna. A warm welcome to all our viewers on behalf of myself and on behalf of the GBC Strategic Planning team. Myself, Parijata Devi Dasi, am part of the GBC Strategic Planning team and also a member of ISKCON Communications Ministry, and have been asked to host this session, a series of lectures and talks that we have in relation to the Incorporation Day, which we are going to celebrate tomorrow. We may recall that Srila Prabhupada actually incorporated ISKCON in New York on 13th July in 1966. And along with that, he actually formulated 7 purposes for ISKCON. And these are the guiding principles which, are just guiding us in relation to our movement, in relation to our organization, and in relation to our structure. Today we are going to talk about the purpose number 5, which I would just read out right now. The purpose number 5 is to erect for the members and for the society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna. And to talk to us about this special purpose, we have with us a very special guest. A warm welcome, our humble obeisances, Maharaj. We would like to invite His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj on behalf of the GBC Strategic Planning team to this live Facebook session. My humble obeisances, Maharaj.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to be here tonight.
I'm very happy to be here tonight
And discussing this 5th purpose of ISKCON.
and discussing this 5th purpose of ISKCON.
Maharaj needs no introduction, but nevertheless, Maharaj was initiated by Srila Prabhupada in Montreal in 1968, and soon after she was asked by Srila Prabhupada to develop a center in Toronto and Chicago. Just 2 years after that, he was the temple president at ISKCON Calcutta. And after that, Srila Prabhupada entrusted him with a very big responsibility of developing Mayapur, which he still continues to do today. 4 decades after that, Maharaj today still is putting untiring efforts to develop and nourish ISKCON centers across the world. And not only that, but he has developed thousands of congregations, home worships across the globe. And he still continues to be the co-director at Mayapur. Not only with ISKCON centers, but Maharaj has also been instrumental in developing several holy places. He is the chairman of the Bhaktivedanta Swami Charity Trust, which was set up by Srila Prabhupada to renovate the Gaudiya Mutt, various holy places, and also ancient holy places in different dhams. Maharaj is also a GBC member. He is also the zonal secretary for several states in India, and also for more than 50 countries across the world. And of course, he continues to direct, guide, and inspire the project of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium, the TOVP. So a warm welcome to you, Maharaj. And today, we feel that, you are actually one of the most appropriate Vaishnavas to actually help us unpack this purpose number 5 of the 7 purposes of ISKCON. So thank you so much, Maharaj. And I would just like to begin first just asking you that, when Srila Prabhupada spoke about that he mentioned that a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna. Can you share, Maharaj, that what did Srila Prabhupada imply by this?
A thing that we see,
The thing that we see
that in different places Prabhupada gave different names.
in different places, Prabhupada gave different names.
Like no Mayapur, no New Vrindavan, New Panihati Dham,
New Mayapur, New Vrindavan, New Panihati Dham,
New Dwarka,
New Dwaraka.
and plus we have temples in the original Vrindavan, original Mayapur.
Plus, we have temple in the original Mayapur, original Vrindavan.
So the aspect of creating a place where people
So, the aspect of creating a place for people
are able to participate in the pastime of Krishna.
are able to participate in the pastimes of Krishna.
I joined in San Francisco,
Like I joined in San Francisco,
and that was the first place that the Ratha Yatra took place.
that was the first place the Ratha Yatra took place.
And Jayananda Prabhu was uh, building the Ratha Yatra there.
And Jayananda Prabhu was building the Ratha Yatra there.
So then Prabhupada gave the name, or got the name of New Jagannath Puri.
Then Prabhupada gave the name of New Jagannath Puri.
I don't know what I was put as GDC for about 22 years
I was put as a GBC for 22 years
in Southeast USA.
in Southeast USA.
So there, Atlanta is known as New Panihati Dam.
There, Atlanta is known as New Panihati Dam.
So I had been with Srila Prabhupada
So, and I had been with Srila Prabhupada
on 2 occasions to Panihati Dam,
on 2 occasions in Panihati Dam,
the original Panihati.
the original Panihati.
I knew how they have observed the festival there.
I knew how they observed the festival there.
So I thought I suggested to them
So I suggested to them
that they should have the festival
that they should have the festival
around the same time,
around the same time,
dedicated to the Panihati Chiradahi Mahotsav.
dedicated to the Panihati Chiradai Mahotsav.
And they've been doing that.
So they've been doing that.
And because it's in America,
And because it is in America,
we can offer different varieties of condensed milk and yogurt
they
and
can offer
fried
different,
rice.
they can offer different varieties of condensed milk, yogurt, and flat rice.
And so we offer about 18 to 21 flavors.
So we've offered about 18 to 21 flavors
And became a big festival.
and became a big festival.
And I would think that
So I would think
in
that
the same way,
in the same way,
see, like I was the first president in Toronto,
I was the first president in Toronto.
but later on, Prabhupada gave the name New Ramuna.
And later on, Prabhupada gave the name New Ramuna.
So you think, what does Ramuna stand for?
We think, what does Ramuna stand for?
What happened there?
What happened there?
One thing we know that
One thing we know that
deities stole condensed milk
the deity stole condensed milk
from Madhavendra Puri.
from Madhavendra Puri,
So that's known as Kir Chur Gopinath.
that known as Kirshor Gopinath.
So they can have an annual festival
So we can have annual festival
where you have Kir offered to all the people.
and we can have kheer offered to all the people.
And actually, Kir could be bought
Actually, kheer could be bought
year round,
year around,
which is done in Ramuna.
which is done in Ramuna.
Kir is very famous.
The kheer is very
You
famous.
can also have a festival
You can also have
for
festival
Madhavendra Puri,
for Madhavendra Puri
because his disappearance place is there.
because his disappearance place is there.
They disappeared on Govinda Dwadasi.
He disappeared on Govinda Dwadasi.
Like that, you could have a festival
Like that, we can have festivals
on Govinda Dwadasi.
on Govinda Dwadasi.
And so similarly,
So similarly,
what I was present in Dwarka,
I was present in New Dwaraka.
I was present.
I was present in New Dwaraka.
And they have a festival for the appearance day of Rukmini,
They have a festival for the appearance day of Rukmini.
and they have various festivals based on the Dwarka theme.
and they have various festivals based on the Dwaraka theme.
I don't know if New Vrindavan has any Vrindavan festival.
I don't know whether New Vrindavan has any Vrindavan festival.
The point is that
The point is that
in each place
in each
where
place
Prabhupada gave a name,
where Prabhupada gave the name,
New Vrindavan or New something,
New Vrindavan or New something,
then that could have some specific festivals
that could have some specific festivals
which are dedicated to the pastimes of Krishna,
which is dedicated to the pastimes of Krishna,
and which everyone can participate in.
which everyone can participate in.
So, like that in Mayapur,
So like that in
we
Mayapur,
want to have, because in Mayapur all the holy dhams
because in
are present.
Mayapur all the holy dhams are present.
So we're trying to have all the special theme parks
So we're
of
trying
the
to have
dhams.
all the special theme parks for the people, different
And we
dhams,
have the TLDD,
and we have the TOVP.
and so we're trying to extend these places of Krishna's pastime.
So we are trying to expand these places of Krishna's pastime.
What that could also be done in every temple.
That could also be done in other temple or every temple.
So I think that's a very important aspect.
I think it is a very important aspect.
I don't think that much attention is given universally to this idea.
I don't think much attention is given universally to this idea.
Some places they give it, some places not.
Some places they give in and some places are not.
But you can really, this is a great opportunity
This is a great opportunity
to actually identify a place
to actually identify a place
with particular pastimes
with particular pastimes
that Krishna did.
So Maharaj, like this principle where we talk about a holy place of transcendental pastimes, regardless of any financial.
Tonight we're reading the drama of Lord Chaitanya.
Tonight we were reading the drama of Lord Chaitanya.
How he was playing the part of Rukmini.
How he was playing the part of Rukmini.
Writing a letter to Lord Krishna.
Writing a letter to Lord Krishna.
That you are the lion of the Yadu dynasty.
You are the lion of the Yadu dynasty.
And the letter that she wrote.
That letter he wrote.
All the devotees.
So all the devotees.
Hearing that letter.
Hearing the letter.
They started to cry out.
They started to cry
out. Haribol!
Haribol!
And the ladies were doing Uludwani.
And the ladies were doing Uludwani.
So Krishna, Chaitanya would do these dramas.
So Chaitanya would do these dramas.
Having Prabhupada gave a theme.
So Prabhupada gave a theme
for a particular place.
For a particular place.
A great opportunity.
It's a great opportunity.
To make a place of transcendental.
To make a place transcendental.
Pastime of the Lord.
Pastime of the Lord.
So Maharaj, regardless of, you just shared about these pastimes of the Lord, and they are actually holy places of transcendental pastimes. What is says that so regardless of any financial or other limitations, what are the main elements which can make our temples or our projects holy places of transcendental pastimes?
What's your next question?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Maharaj, the next question is that regardless of any financial or other limitations, what are the main elements which can make our projects or our temples a holy place of transcendental pastimes?
Mataji, your question was not very clear because of the low bandwidth, I think. Can you say that again, Mataji? Sorry.
Yes. So we also have the question displayed. I just got the question displayed on the screen. So the question is that what are the main elements for making our projects or our temples a holy place of transcendental pastimes, like Srila Prabhupada has explained in his purpose number 5, regardless of any financial or other limitations that we may have?
What are the main?
We have the question displayed. What are the main elements for making our projects a holy place of transcendental pastimes, regardless of financial
Yes.
limitations?
Krishna has Ananta Lila,
Krishna has Ananta Leela,
unlimited pastime.
unlimited pastimes.
So people, we want to help them remember Krishna.
So we wanted to help people to remember Krishna.
So if every temple thinks
If every temple thinks,
when people come here,
when people come here,
we like to commemorate certain pastimes
we would like to commemorate certain pastimes
of Krishna,
of Krishna,
whether it's Janmashtami or Radhashtami or
whether it's Janmashtami,
Purnima,
Radhastami,
or Gaur Purnima,
or Gaur Purnima,
or Narsingha
or
Chaturdasi,
Narsingha Chaturdasi,
or the Julan Jatra.
or the Julan Yatra.
So different festivals,
So the different festivals,
every temple can perform.
every temple can perform.
I mean, if they have some special name,
If they have some special name,
they can do a special festival.
they can do a special
But
festival.
every temple can do at least the regular festivals.
At least every temple can do a regular festival.
And then when the people come,
So when
like
people,
in Melbourne, Australia,
like in Melbourne,
they
Australia,
do a Stan Yatra
they do a Snan
the
Yatra
day after the Christmas
the
Day.
day after the Christmas.
In Australia, that's called the Boxing Day.
In Australia, that's called the Boxing Day.
And there, everyone comes and bathes Jagannath Baladev and Subhadra.
There, everybody comes and bathe Lord Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra.
Then they incorporated a auctioning of the deity paraphernalia. They incorporated an auction.
And then they may incorporate the auctioning of the deity paraphernalia.
Also, we added a Chiradahi Mahotsav,
And then also we do the Chiradahi Mahotsav.
and they auction off the pots.
And they auction off the pots.
And that way they raise thousands of dollars every year.
So in that way, they raise thousands of dollars every year.
What's to speak of spending money, they gain money.
What to speak of spending money, but they gain money.
But everybody is very much engaged in the different pastime of the Lord.
But everybody is very much engaged in different pastimes of the Lord.
So every temple could have some festivals like that.
So every temple could have some festivals like that.
And at least it would be something that
At least it would be something that
everybody could participate in.
everybody could participate in.
But maybe also arranged
But it may be also arranged
to be a run dinner.
to be a fun spinner.
In New Panihati, they auction off
New Panihati, they auction off
a few pots.
few pots.
And sometimes they get $2,000 or $3,000.
Sometimes they used to get $2,000 or $3,000.
And then some pots
And then some pots
are booked in advance.
booked in advance.
So the big, medium, and small pots.
Big, medium, and small pots.
So those pots are all booked in advance.
So those pots are all booked in advance.
So at the end of the day,
At the end of the day,
The whole festival is paid for by the pots.
The whole festival is paid for by the
Pots.
pots.
So, what my poor mother
My Purvashrama mother,
suggests, why do you give away the pots free?
why you give away the pots free?
You should have some auction.
You should have some auction.
So, since I've been doing that,
Since we've been doing that,
I don't charge anyone for the festival.
we don't charge anyone for the festival.
Everybody pays by whoever wants.
Everybody pays by whoever wants.
Sponsor a pot.
They sponsor a pot
And they get the pot as prasad.
and they get a pot as
A
prasadam.
huge pot.
A huge pot.
They can't eat that much.
They can't eat that
So they
much.
distribute it.
So they distribute it.
So how everybody, this is the Panihati mood,
So everybody in this Panihati mood,
distributing prasad.
distributing prasadam.
Like that.
So like that,
Every temple can have some festivals.
every temple can have some festivals.
It doesn't cost money.
Doesn't cost money.
Rather, it could also raise money.
Rather, it could also raise money.
But lots of people enjoy
But let the people
and
enjoy
remember
and remember
a particular pastime of Krishna.
that particular pastime of Krishna.
And this way,
In this way,
they can remember, they can identify with Krishna's pastime.
they can identify with Krishna's pastime.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So thank you for sharing that. You travel across and you visit a lot of temples. What are the aspects that you have observed that make one temple more successful than the other?
What are the aspects of making one temple is better than the other?
Yeah, more successful. What are the aspect that you have observed?
Well, I didn't analyze in that way,
But I didn't analyze in that way.
but since you're asking,
But since you're asking,
I would say that
I would say that
a temple that involves the congregation more,
the temple that involves the congregations more,
and naturally more vibrant,
naturally more vibrant
and more enthusiastic.
and more enthusiastic.
And so we should think how to involve the congregation,
So we should think how to involve the
how
congregation,
to make them identify with the pastimes of Krishna,
how to make them identify themselves with the pastime of Krishna,
and how to have the different festivals dedicated to the pastimes of Krishna.
and how to have different festivals dedicated to the pastimes of Krishna.
And Prabhupada was in Mayapur.
When Prabhupada was in Mayapur,
He was crying one day
he was crying one day
when he saw the poor children
when he saw the poor children
fighting all the dogs to
fighting off the dogs
eat the scraps
to eat scraps
left from the feast.
left from the feast.
He said that Krishna is everyone's father,
He said Krishna is everyone's father,
and in the presence of the father,
and in the presence of father,
son or daughter never go hungry.
son or daughter shouldn't go hungry.
Within a 10-mile radius,
So within the 10-mile radius,
to see that everybody is fed.
we should see that everyone is fed.
No one goes hungry.
No one should go hungry.
During this COVID-19 pandemic,
So during this COVID-19 pandemic,
there was a lockdown,
there was a lockdown.
and so we were distributing over 5,000 plates every day.
So we were distributing our 5,000 plates of prasadam every day.
So like this, rather than wanting the temples not to be just some kind of static thing,
So like this, Prabhupada doesn't want a temple to be just static things.
you want a temple to be a living representative of our Krishna and his pastime.
He wants the temples to be a representative of Krishna and his pastimes.
The deity is known as the Archa Avatar.
The deities are known as Archa Avatar.
So naturally, we should have a particular presence of the deity
So naturally, we should have a particular presence of the deity
in everyone's heart
in everyone's heart,
in the community.
in the community.
And the temples that do that most, naturally, are.
So the temples that do the most, naturally, they will be better.
So, Maharaj, would you, share any guidelines that a temple management could follow to help the functions of the temple better? Any guidelines would you suggest for the management which would help the temple to function better?
Can you give us some guidelines on how to make guests feel welcome, as the purpose says that our project should
Well, you see in America that
we see that
Walmart is the big retailer.
Walmart is the big retailer.
They hire a couple people just to welcome the people when they come.
They hire a couple of people just to welcome the people that come.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
What is the value of that?
What is the value of that?
But that makes the huge store feel more welcoming.
That makes the huge store feel more welcoming.
So if you have some congregational members
So if you have some congregational members
who welcome everybody on your Sunday feast day,
who welcome everybody on Sunday feast day,
welcome, thank you for coming.
welcome, thank you for coming.
Little things like that will make a big difference.
Little thing like that makes a big difference.
Having a mailing list where you invite people for the festivals,
Having meeting and the right people for the festival,
having different programs like, say, some congregation on some birthday,
say some of the congregation's birthday,
and announcing the birthday,
and announcing the birthday.
and then like if you have invite different school groups or
School groups
come to the temple
come to the temple
and participate in the program.
and participate in the program.
We're open. We like the people to come.
So we are open and we like people to come.
So every year, a particular teacher brings his
So every year,
class
a particular teacher brings the class
to the temple in the United States.
to the temples in the United States.
So, in that way, they get the people at large
So in that way, they get people at large
get exposed to Krishna.
get exposed to Krishna.
At the same time,
At the same time,
we're happy to have the people come,
we are happy to have the people come,
take prasadam,
take prasadam,
ask questions,
ask questions,
because that should be a natural exchange.
because there should be natural exchange
Where they understand a little bit about Krishna consciousness.
for understand a little bit about Krishna consciousness.
Unfortunately, many people have a misconception,
Have misconception,
or they have no idea at all,
or they don't have idea at all,
and they think something negative.
and they think something negative.
So somehow, if we are open
So somehow, if we are open
and we invite different schools or different communities to come,
and if we invite different schools or community to come,
and we also participate in interfaith programs,
and if we also participate in interfaith programs
our positive image
that can do a lot to project a positive image
to the society at large.
to the society at large.
Maharaj, during one of our sessions, during one of your earlier interviews with the GBC SPT, you actually shared with us about this unique program which you have where you go to the homes of different devotees online in different countries, and you actually speak to them, see their deities, talk to them, and share instructions and guidance. And that was something which was so inspiring for many devotees, not only the ones who saw, but also the devotees who are actually at home, who cannot come to the temple, but are just completely dependent on their home worship. So can you please share with us the importance of making a temple in every home?
We always heard from Prabhupada
We always heard from Srila Prabhupada
how in Vrindavan there are 5,000 temples
how in Vrindavan there are 5,000 temples
because every home had a temple.
because every home had a temple.
So we would like,
So we would like,
as part of our congregational development ministry,
as the part of our congregational development ministry,
to have house temples or spiritual homes
to have house temple or spiritual homes
recognized.
recognized.
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur called them as Shraddha Kutirs,
And Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls them as Shraddha Kutir,
homes of faith.
homes of faith.
So we have yet, we haven't really had this project take off yet.
I didn't really have this project take off yet.
And in some places it's taken off.
Some places it has taken off.
So we're looking for a worldwide coordinator, promoter
Somewhere else we are looking for a worldwide promoter
for this Shraddha Kutir program.
for this Shraddha Kutir program.
But having a home temple is a big step.
But having a home temple is a big step.
When I visited the homes,
When I visit the homes,
I was so happy to see how the husband and wife were working together
I was so happy to see how the husband and wife working together
with their children
with their children
to worship their deity.
to worship the deities.
And I was amazed to see
And I was amazed to see
how many Jagannath deities are.
how many Jagannath deities are there.
Nitai Gaur, Jagannath,
Nitai Gaur and Jagannath,
a few Radha Krishna,
few Radha Krishna,
many pictures of Nrsimhadev, Panchatattva.
many pictures of Narsinghadev and Panchatattva.
But Prabhupada has made Lord Jagannath, I would say, a household deity.
Srila Prabhupada has made Lord Jagannath as an household deities.
I don't think that the Jagannath Puri priests understand
I don't think the Jagannath Puri priests they understand
how much
how much
Prabhupada has expanded the Jagannath worship around the world.
Prabhupada has expanded the Jagannath worship around the world.
So we want every house to be a temple.
So we want every house to be a temple.
Of course, in our actual temples,
Of course, in our actual temple,
the installed deities
the installed
are
deities
very special.
are very special.
And they're considered as archa avatars.
And that's considered as Archa Avatar.
So, their worship is special.
Their worship is special.
But to have a home deities
But the home deities,
is a good practice.
it's a good practice.
Prabhupada as a child,
Prabhupada as a child,
Prabhupada gave them a small deity of Radha and Krishna.
was given a
Prabhupada's father gave them a small deity.
Prabhupada's father gave him a small deities of Radha and Krishna.
And as a little child,
And as a little child,
he would worship these deities.
he would worship those deities.
When he went to college,
When he went to college,
his younger sister worshiped.
his younger sister worshipped.
We call her as Vishima.
And we called her as Pisima.
So Maharaj, thank you for sharing this, insight about important it is to have personal deities, which helps one to focus on Krishna and assist one's personal meditation. Can you share with us that, how can one harmonize the attention one gives to one's personal deities and the attention which is needed to properly worship the deities in the temple?
Actually, the worship you give to the deity in the temple
Actually, the worship that we give to the deities in the temple,
is much more elaborate.
it's much more elaborate.
There are 7 artis a day,
Maybe there are 6-7 artis a day,
several pujaris,
several pujaris,
and all the offerings are made
all the offerings that are made
according to a strict schedule.
according to the strict schedule.
The whole people generally they don't have installed deities in the home.
People generally don't have installed deities at home.
They're more like practice deities,
They are more like practice deities.
and they maybe have change their clothes once in 2 weeks.
They maybe change their clothes once in 2 weeks
On Ekadasi,
on Ekadasi.
some people every weekend.
Some people every weekend.
They don't really have. They can't offer very elaborate puja,
They can't offer a very elaborate puja,
but they offer what they can.
but they offer what they can.
So it's like worshiping a picture.
So it's like worshipping a picture.
But some of them have deities.
But some of them have deities.
But the temple worship is a much higher standard.
But the temple worship is much higher standard.
And actually, it can be harmonized.
So naturally, it can be harmonized.
You can see that the one deities are the communities.
People see that
The temple deity is the community deity.
the temple deity is the community deity.
We go to the temple for big festivals.
We go to the temple for a big festival.
We attend on Sunday,
We attend on Sunday,
or sometimes they have children.
or sometimes I have program with the children.
And that way,
So in that way,
a temple should also try to be relevant to the needs of the community.
so the temple should also try to be relevant to the need of the community.
And the house deities
And the house deities,
are not a replacement for the community,
they are not replacement for the community,
but they're just to keep the homes Krishna conscious.
they are just to keep the home Krishna conscious.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
There seem to be questions.
Yes, Maharaj. So can you we're just waiting for Maharaj to come back. So Maharaj, you just very beautifully explained how to harmonize home worship and temple worship. Can you also share that how the temple management can actually empower the congregation to get the message of Krishna consciousness?
Then the pandemic time,
Like during this pandemic time,
we've been noticing that
we've been noticing that
different congregational members
different congregational members
are able to give classes on internet,
are able to give classes on internet,
and whether some people give class to 10 people,
or whether some people give class to 10
or
people
30 people,
or 30 people
or 50 people.
or 50 people.
Some people give to 500.
Some people give to 500.
In Bangalore, they're giving to 11,000.
In Mangalore, they were giving to 11,000.
In Chennai, they're giving to 9,000.
In Chennai, they were giving to 9,000.
And some of the congregational members,
Some of the congregational members,
they also gave class to 500 people.
they also gave class to 500 people.
500.
500.
So now there's a program by the Mayapur Institute of, and by the Ministry of Education
Now there is a program by the Mayapur Institute from the Ministry of Education
to empower the different leaders of temples
to empower the different leaders of the temples
to be able to give Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava,
to be able to
degrees.
give Bhakti Sastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, etc. degrees.
And the charge from the ministry would be like $1 for the certificate,
The charge from the ministry is like $1 for the certificate,
and maybe for keeping the records and everything,
and maybe for keeping the records and everything,
like $4 or $10.
like $4 or $10.
So that's only like $5 each.
So that's coming to like $5 each.
And then if the temple has to pay a maintenance for some teacher, they can charge more.
And then if the temple has to pay for the maintenance of some teachers, they can pay more.
That's optional.
That's optional.
So many of the congregational members
So many of the congregational members
could be engaged in this way.
could be engaged in this way.
First learning
First learning
and then teaching.
and then teaching.
So they found in Bangalore
Like in Mangalore,
with 11,000 people,
with the 11,000 people,
they couldn't actually service that many
they couldn't actually service that many
without spending a lot of money.
without spending a lot of money.
So then they found that Microsoft
Then they found that Microsoft
team, a meeting,
meeting,
they gave them free 25, 275
they gave them free 25 or 275
uh,
the accounts
accounts.
to hold free meetings.
So what they did is they offered it in 7 languages,
So what they did was they offered the course in 7 languages,
and they had 25 devotees of the congregation
and they had 25 devotees from the congregation
give these classes.
giving classes.
So every morning,
Every morning,
the temple president would talk
the temple president would talk
to the 25 devotees
to those 25 devotees.
what they should say in the meeting,
What should they say in their meeting?
and then they would say that in the evening
And then they
class.
would say that in the evening in their class.
After the 18 day, they covered 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita.
After the 18 days, they covered the 18th chapter of Bhagavad
Then
Gita.
they were convinced
Then they were convinced.
they know how to do it.
They knew how to do it.
And then require the help of the temple president every day.
They just required help
They
from the.
didn't require.
They didn't require the help from the temple president every day.
So they've been doing it 3 times.
So now they've been doing this for 3 times.
11,000 people each time.
11,000 people each time.
And then they don't charge,
And then they don't charge,
but they make like many hundreds of thousands of rupees
but they make many hundreds and thousands of rupees.
of spontaneous donations.
Spontaneous donation.
So we have many initiated devotees
So we have many initiated devotees
in the congregation.
in the congregation.
we should think how to involve them,
So we should think how to involve them,
how to have them teach and preach
how to have them teach and preach.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Before we move forward with our next question, I just want to ask our viewers and request them that if they have any questions for Maharaj relating to the purpose 5 of the 7 purposes of ISKCON, then they can put it in the comments and we'll try to take your question. Our next question to Maharaj is that, Maharaj, you travel to a lot of places and there are a lot of devotees and congregation members staying far away from the places of tirthas like Vrindavan and Mayapur. What are the elements devotees should focus on to establish and maintain the presence, that is, to maintain the consciousness of a tirtha or a holy place in a location which is outside of the implicit dhams like Vrindavan or Mayapur?
Mataji, we didn't hear your question properly. Can you repeat that again?
Yes, I would just repeat my question. The question is that what are the elements devotees should focus on to establish and maintain the presence or to maintain a consciousness of a tirtha in a location outside the implicit dhams like Vrindavan or Mayapur?
You see, Mayapur, Vrindavan are dhams.
You see, Mayapur and Vrindavan are dhams.
They have like a, a 10-mile radius.
They have 10-mile radius.
Is a center of the dham,
Is the center of the dam,
and then the greater dham goes like 164 kilometers.
and then the greater dam goes for 164 kilometers.
But every temple
But every temple
can also be considered a Sritat.
can also be considered as Sripat.
And then within 1.5 miles
And then within 1.5 miles
of that temple
of that temple,
is also a dham.
it's also a dam.
It's called Sritat.
It's called Sripat.
And then if someone has 12 Shaligram Shilas,
And if someone has 12 Saligram Silas,
that place becomes, the area becomes extended.
and that area becomes expanded.
I forget exactly how much, but
I forgot exactly how much,
12 miles or something.
12 miles or something.
I don't quote it there, I don't remember exactly.
Please don't quote me there. I don't remember exactly.
So if the Prabhupada visited a place,
And if Prabhupada visited a place,
and we can call that a special place,
and we could call that as a special place,
and so that has some greater significance.
and that has some greatest significance.
So we have different places like the birthplace of our Panchatattva,
So we have like different places, like the birthplace of Panchatattva,
or like the birthplace of Pandit Vidyanidhi,
or like the birthplace of Pundarik
or
Vidyanidhi,
different associates of Lord Chaitanya.
and different associates of Lord Chaitanya.
Each of those has got
Each of those has got
a certain significance.
a certain significance.
Similarly, the temples
Similarly, the temples
in different parts of the
in
world
different parts of the world
are also places of pilgrimage.
are also places of pilgrimage.
In fact,
At
at
one point,
many Indian devotees that wanted to visit different temples around the world.
there were many different Indian devotees who wanted to visit different temples around the world
Because they were like holy places.
because they were like holy places.
So recently, they made a beautiful temple in Penang,
Recently they made a beautiful temple in Penang State, Malaysia.
and the government in Malaysia
And the government in Malaysia
published this temple as part of their national tourist attraction.
and the government of Malaysia published this temple as the national tourist attraction.
We heard that in the New York experience.
We heard that in New York experience.
They showed that Hare Krishna Ratha Yatra is one of the special events of the year.
They showed the Hare Krishna Ratha Yatra as the special event of the year.
So like this, temples can utilize different systems to make the
So like these temples can utilize different systems to make
a temple as a place of pilgrimage.
the temples as place of pilgrimage.
Have people visit.
Have people visit.
I saw in Bhaktivedanta Manor,
I saw in Bhaktivedanta
they're
Manor,
having different school groups.
they are having different school groups
You know, the government in UK wanted to have
because the government in UK wanted to have
the people experience the different cultures
the people experience different culture
that were in the UK.
that we are in UK.
And so they would come and visit the temple.
So they would come and visit the temple
And then they would have a prasadam.
and then they would have
They
prasadam
paid a certain amount for each student.
and they pay certain amount for each student.
When they would come visit, take prasadam, see the arti,
Because they come, visit, take prasadam and see the arati.
and this is considered as a useful educational outing.
So this is considered as an useful education or outreach.
So actually the temple with installed deities
So actually the temple with installed deities
is a place of pilgrimage.
is a place of pilgrimage.
And of course,
And of course,
in a home, if they have a set of Srimad Bhagavatam,
in their home, if they have a set of Srimad Bhagavatam,
that home itself becomes a place of pilgrimage.
that home itself becomes a place of pilgrimage.
That's the Bhadra Purnima festival.
That's the Bhadra Purnima festival.
So, like this, a temple would also be a type of Sripat.
So like this, our temple also be like a Sripat.
Is that all right?
Is that all right?
Yes, yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. Our next question is that from the very early days, from the early 70s, actually, Srila Prabhupada entrusted you to develop Mayapur. And you are still very much an integral part of the inspiration of the Mayapur development. From the days the temple was initially developed, when Prabhupada was personally present on the planet, till today, when the construction and the TOBP is under construction and development. Would you like to share some special instructions from Srila Prabhupada on Mayapur?
He said, I give you the kingdom of God.
He said, I give you the kingdom of God,
Develop it.
develop it.
And then he wanted to build a temple of Vedic planetarium
And then he wanted to build a temple of Vedic planetarium
for that the people could realize
that the people could realize
that Krishna was descending from the spiritual kingdom.
that Krishna is descending from the spiritual kingdom.
Also, in that temple, to have an exhibition which would
And also in the temple to have an exhibition which would
show the people that
show the people that
Vedas were good science.
Vedas are good science.
And he gave different instructions to Sadabuddha
And he gave different instructions to Sadaputa
to show the fifth canto of the universal cosmology.
to show the fifth canto of the universal cosmology.
And I was present at that time.
I would present at that time.
He turned to me and said, "You understand this also."
he turned to me and he said that you understand this also.
Uh, I take it as one of my duties to try to
I take it as one of my duty to try to
help the TLDP
help the TOVP
manifest and also to the
manifest and also to the
do the exhibition part.
and to do the exhibition part.
He also said to all they know the Dham.
He also said to develop the Navadip Dham.
And we found many what do I say, hidden tirthas.
And we found many hidden tirthas.
And still a few are missing.
Still few are missing.
We're trying to find.
We are trying to find.
And, of course, now we're in a huge celebration mode.
And of course, we are now in a huge mode
Because of the loss of our dear His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami.
because of the loss of our dear Bhakti Charu Swami.
And we're also trying to unite the different parts of the Saraswat family.
And we are also trying to unite the different parts of the Saraswat family,
Which Prabhupada had also asked us to do.
which Prabhupada had also asked us to do.
So, but he wanted to have Mayapur via
But he wanted to have Mayapur be a
universal attraction
universal attraction
and help people to accept Lord Chaitanya
and to have people accept Lord Chaitanya
as the Kali Yuga avatar.
as Kali Yuga avatar.
So these are some of the things.
So these are
Some of the things.
some of the things,
Not exhaustive.
not exhaustive.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. I think these are so valuable for us and for the generations to come to meditate, to reflect, and to implement these instructions of Srila Prabhupada in relation to Mayapur. Also, you are a GBC member, and most important instructions and directions you would like to give to temples in your zone?
Well, I'm regularly communicating with them.
I'm regularly communicating with them.
It depends where they are.
Depends where they are.
We have many places in Bangladesh.
We have many places in Bangladesh.
Birthplace of Advaita Gosai.
The birthplace of Advaita Gosai.
Birthplace of Srilas Pandit.
Birthplace of Srivas Pandit.
Birthplace of Madhavendra Puri.
Birthplace of Madhavendra Puri.
The holy place dedicated to the Rupa Sanatan.
The holy place that dedicated to Rupa and Sanatan.
And Haridas Thakur.
And Haridas Thakur.
And Narottam Das Thakur.
And Narottam Das Thakur.
These places we've already obtained.
So these places we have already obtained.
I'm asking them.
Now I'm asking them
to find a place of Gadadhar Pandit.
To find the place of Gadadhar Pandit.
He was also appeared in southeast of Bangladesh.
He also appeared in southeast of Bangladesh.
Like Bangladesh, we're trying to get all the holy places.
So in Bangladesh, we are trying to get all the holy places.
In in India,
In India,
uh, uh, in Bengal, in Orissa, we're trying to get holy places.
in Orissa, we are trying to get holy places.
And, Bhaktivedanta Swami Charity Trust
And Bhaktivedanta Swami Charity Trust
is to develop particularly the Coromandel movie,
is to develop particularly the Gaur Mandal Bhumi.
and that we're trying to all the people in the Chaitanya tree
We are in that we are trying that all the people in the Chaitanya tree
who are born in Bangladesh,
who are,
Bengal,
who are born in Bangladesh or Nepal,
we're trying to
Bengal,
preserve those places.
try to preserve those places.
We found the Saligram Sila of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur,
We found the Saligram Sila of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur,
and at his birthplace, they want us to build a temple.
and at his birthplace they want us to build a temple.
Bhakti Yatra Swami
Bhakti Charu Swami
has got a land in Panihati Dam.
has got a land in Panihati Dam.
So that we're trying to develop on the basis of Prabhupada's instructions.
So there we are trying to develop on the basis of Srila Prabhupada's instruction.
But on the other places outside of the dam,
But on the other places outside of the dam,
we asked Prabhupada about Sri Kshetra or Vrindavan.
we asked Prabhupada what about Sri Kshetra or Vrindavan.
He said someone else can do that.
He said someone else could do that.
I'm doing the Coromandel movie.
I'm doing the Gaur Mandal Bhumi.
We know that it was sung. Coromandel movie, Deva Jane Chintamani,
Gaur Mandal Bhumi Devajane Chintamani,
Tahai Braju Vivas.
Har Hoy Braja Bhumi Bas.
So, other temples, I'm trying to help them to establish the temple as a place of pilgrimage.
So in other places we are trying to establish that those places as a place of pilgrimage.
And that they should do some program for the congregation.
That they should do some program for the congregation.
So, at GBC, I'm trying to help them also to distribute books,
So as a GBC, I'm also trying to encourage them to distribute books,
to develop congregation,
to develop congregation,
and different things.
and to do different other things.
Thank you, Maharaj, for sharing your message as a GBC and as a zonal secretary for many states in India and also more than 15 countries around the world. We now come to our last question of this session. Do you feel, Maharaj, that this particular principle, the purpose 5 of erecting holy in any way be affected by a situation like the present pandemic?
See, during this pandemic,
You see, during this pandemic,
more difficult for the people may not be able to visit.
it's difficult for the people because they are not able to visit.
But in another sense,
But in another sense,
some people have been saying that this
some people have been saying that this
pandemic is a blessing in disguise
pandemic is a blessing in disguise
because they're able to expand their outreach
because they are able to expand their outreach
using the internet,
using the internet,
using Facebook, Zoom, other things,
using Facebook, Zoom, and other things
uh, to a greater number of people.
to reach many more
A
people,
greater number of people.
to a greater number of people.
People generally are in anxiety
People are generally in anxiety
and they're looking for a spiritual alternative.
and they're looking for spiritual alternative.
So that way, a lot of people are showing interest.
So in that way, a lot of people are showing interest.
So I think that every temple
I think that every temple
should try to take advantage of this situation.
should try to take the advantage of this situation.
So the Supreme Court in India said
The Supreme Court of India said
more people may die of anxiety and fear
more people may die of anxiety and fear
than the actual disease.
than the actual disease.
So we should promote kirtan, bhajan, and namaz.
So we should promote kirtan, bhajan, and namaz.
So taking that inspiration,
So taking that as an inspiration,
I'm trying to get my temples to also
I'm trying to get my temples also
promote the chanting
promote the chanting
in a special way.
in a special way.
Prabhupada was saying that,
Prabhupada was saying that
and there was a plague in Calcutta in 1896.
there was a plague in Calcutta in 1896,
And by chanting Hare Krishna,
and by chanting Hare Krishna,
they left.
the plague left.
But Prabhupada said we don't recommend this because
But Prabhupada said we don't recommend this because
this is offensive to the holy name.
this is offensive to a holy name.
But he did say that people should understand
But he did say that people should understand
that this material world is not a place you should stay.
that this material world is not a place to stay.
Therefore, people should chant,
Therefore, people should chant.
and that way make the life
And,
purified.
and in that way, we can make the life purified
And go back to the home, back to Godhead.
and go back home, back to Godhead.
So you can expand your congregation during this lockdown period.
So you can expand your congregation during this lockdown period.
And when things open, they'll come to the temple more.
And when the temple is open, when the things are open, they'll come to the temple more.
Is that all right?
Is that all right?
Yes, Maharaj, thank you so much for sharing. I think this would be so valuable for a lot of our viewers where globally devotees are stuck down during the lockdown. And thank you so much for sharing that insight as to how we can see this difficulty as an opportunity to connect with Krishna. Also, we want to express our gratitude to a lot of our viewers who are with us online and live right now. Unfortunately, we have crossed a 1 hour mark of our session, so we apologize for not being able to take any questions. On behalf of the GBC Strategic Planning team and myself, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Maharaj for his time, for all his instructions, for helping us to unpackage the purpose 5, which is to erect for the members and for the society at large a holy place of transcendental pastimes dedicated to the personality of Krishna, for his very valuable instructions, and most important, for his shining example in serving the Dham and the devotees across the globe. This is an inspiration for devotees all over, for not only now, for the generations to come. And we are very, very grateful to you, Maharaj, that you are guiding us to serve in temples, but also in our homes, and also to offer this incredible gift to Srila Prabhupada and to our acharyas in form of the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium. So our humble obeisances to you and a heartfelt gratitude to you on behalf of the strategic planning team and myself for your time, for your energy, and for your instructions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I would also like to extend my gratitude to Shakshi Gopal Prabhu and Manmohan Krishna Prabhu for their back-end support. We would not have been able to conduct this session without the technical help which they have offered. And for our viewers, I would like to mention that actually tomorrow is the day of the incorporation of ISKCON, and we have a lot more events lined up on the strategic planning page. So please join us. There's a lot of interviews coming up, and you can also watch this video after recording goes off, the live, the recording would be on the Facebook page and also on the GBC SBT YouTube channel. So you can just come and you can, just hear this again. You can share it with your friends and share it with the friends of your friends. So thank you very much for staying with us today and helping us unpackage the purpose 5 of the 7 purposes of ISKCON. Hare Krishna.
Any questions?
Yeah.